Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to look into topics that, well, maybe seem simple but have a lot going on underneath. And today we're diving into something you see pretty much every day. Catch basin drainage systems. Those grates on the street. Yeah, those. Turns out they're super important for keeping places safe and clean. We're basing our chat today on an article from the Pacific Blue Mechanical website. It's called Catch Basin Drainage Services in Delta. Expert Solutions. So we'll use that to kind of unpack how these systems work, especially thinking about a place like Delta.
Exactly. Our goal really is just to understand what these things actually are. Why they matter so much, particularly in certain areas, and all the good stuff they do for our towns and roads.
Okay, so let's start right there. We see the grates, obviously, but what is a catch basin, technically? What makes it more than just a hole in the ground?
Right. So think of it like a special kind of drain designed specifically for rainwater and, melted snow, what we call stormwater runoff. It's got a few main parts. There's the grate on top, that's the part you see, that lets water in but stops bigger stuff like leaves and trash. Then underneath, there's a box, sort of a holding area called a sump. Water collects there, and heavier things like sand or dirt can settle down to the bottom. And then there's an outlet pipe, usually a bit higher than the bottom of the sump, that lets the clear water flow out and connect to the main sewer system.
Ah, okay. So it catches debris too.
Exactly. And its main job is basically to stop water from pooling up on streets or flooding properties. It directs the water where it needs to go.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the source, the Pacific Blue Mechanical article, talks a lot about Delta. Why are catch basins maybe extra important in a place like that?
Well, Delta is a good example because places like it often get a lot of rain. So managing all that stormwater is a really big deal. Catch basins there are absolutely critical. They're the first defense, really, in getting that large amount of water off the streets, away from buildings, preventing, potential damage.
It's about handling higher volumes of water.
It is, but it's also about how they approach it. The article mentions Delta uses customized solutions. That means they don't just use a one-size-fits-all approach. They might tailor the system based on their specific weather patterns, maybe the type of debris common in the area, or even the local ground conditions. They had some successful upgrades in North Delta that really helped cut down on local flooding issues. They adapted the system.
Custom solutions for local needs. That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, preventing floods is obviously a huge plus. What other big benefits do these systems give us? What good do they do?
Oh, there are quite a few, actually, when you start looking closer. The first big one is preventing floods, like you said. That protects homes and businesses from water damage. And that saves everyone money, right?
Yeah.
Fewer costly repairs, lower insurance claims maybe. It even helps keep property values stable.
Okay, that's a big economic point. What else?
Safer roads. Definitely. When water drains away quickly, you don't get those big puddles or sheets of water that can make cars hydroplane or skid. So, safer driving for everybody.
Right. Less standing water means fewer accidents.
Exactly. Then there's helping cities grow and just being nicer places to live. Good drainage is pretty fundamental if you want to build new houses or businesses. It keeps neighborhoods functioning well.
Supports development. Okay.
And this one's really important. Cleaner water. Catch basins act like a first filter. They trap some of the gunk that washes off streets, oil, bits of trash, dirt before it gets into rivers or lakes.
So they actually help the environment too.
Yes, definitely. By trapping pollutants at the source, they help protect, fish, plants, and keep the water quality better for swimming or playing near water bodies. It's a key part of protecting local ecosystems.
Wow. Okay. Flood prevention, safety, enabling growth, and cleaner water. That's quite a list.
And one more, maybe saving money in the long run. Keeping these systems maintained properly, cleaning them out, it costs something, sure, but it prevents much bigger, much more expensive problems down the line, like major pipe collapses or widespread flood damage.
That leads perfectly to my next question. How do we make sure they keep working well? They sound vital, but I guess they need looking after.
Absolutely. They aren't just set it and forget it. Regular cleaning and inspection are really key. If they get clogged with leaves, trash, sediment, they just can't do their job.
So someone has to physically clean them out.
Traditionally, yes. But there's some interesting tech coming in now. The article mentions things like smart sensors, maybe. They can tell you when a basin is getting full of sediment and needs cleaning before it becomes a problem. And maybe even automated or robotic cleaning systems are being developed too, to make maintenance more efficient and less costly over time.
Interesting. Technology helping out there too.
Yeah, and beyond the tech, just community awareness helps. People understanding why these drains are important and maybe supporting local efforts to keep them maintained. Even just not sweeping leaves into them helps.
Good point. So to wrap this up then, these catch basins, these sort of unsung heroes under our streets, are quietly doing a massive job protecting your homes, keeping roads safer, and helping keep local water cleaner.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How something seemingly as simple as good drainage really connects to the bigger picture, the health of our environment, the strength of our communities. Maybe pause for a second next time you walk past one. How did having those safe roads, knowing your local river is a bit cleaner, how does that make your daily life just that little bit better? Something to consider.